It is Thursday, March 14th, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by friends over at Factor. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well. Just want to let everybody know, Plouffe's playing hurt. So everybody in the chat, I don't know if you want to give him some claps or feel well or whatever. He's got a little Gilken-Spilken in his connecticozoid. He's going to be fine. You all right?
No, I have the warehouse flu. That's what I have. Okay. And I'm getting better. Today I'm on the upswing, and I got a big weekend ahead. So I have to get better. I'm willing myself to get rid of this bug that I have.
Well, I have the perfect way for you to get better. It's by eating a Factor meal, right? Because it's never been easier to eat better thanks to Factor's ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal, it is chef-crafted, is dietitian approved, ready to go in just 2 minutes. Poke a couple of holes in there with a fork, set it for 2 minutes and 2 seconds like I do because I can't do it exactly on the 2-minute mark, and it's good. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Also, there are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up throughout the day. So head on over to factormeals.com/baseball50. Use that code baseball50. You're going to get half off. Head on over there. And also later on in the show, it's our Factor question of the week. So we love them. And finally, Dylan Cease loves this. He knows where he is going to be playing. He got traded from the Chicago White Sox to the San Diego Padres in a 4-for-1 deal. So Chicago gets reliever Steven Wilson, plus 3 of San Diego's top 8 prospects. That includes Drew Thorpe, who was one of the pitchers that came over from the Yankees in the Juan Soto deal. So what is your biggest takeaway from this huge trade?
My biggest takeaway is he on the plane to go to Korea? Like, that's pretty quick, right? Like, how did they get that to happen? My biggest takeaway from the trade is, and I don't know if this is I don't think this is insensitive, but, Seidler set out to do something down there in San Diego, and he brought in a lot of players to go win a championship for his city. And that didn't happen. And then, unfortunately, he passes, rest in peace. And then it seemed like that dream was kind of almost out the window, see, Rosie. We got Soto being traded. We got Hader leaving. We got Snell leaving. We got 2 guys they declined options on 2 of their starting pitchers. So it just didn't seem like that dream was necessarily still alive. There was a small little heartbeat there, but we weren't, I think across baseball, we really weren't giving the Padres a chance. And with this trade, I think that they're kind of back in the mix, at least for like a wild card spot and another move here and there. And then we can see that, what he set out to do is still there. Like, he brought in a lot of really good players to go win a championship, and it was almost gone. And now I think it's back. And I didn't see this coming at all. And maybe I should have, because AJ Preller's down there. I thought for sure he'd be going to the Rangers or the Yankees. But instead they step up, and I think they rejuvenated, Padres fans with one move. I think this is great for the game of baseball, specifically for San Diego and Padres fans. So that's my biggest takeaway, is they had that dream, and Seidler had that dream, and now it's back. So I'm very, very happy for the city of San Diego.
I am as well. Now they've got a top 4 that is at very least interesting, with Cease and Darvish and Musgrove.
That's pretty good, dude.
And King. Yeah, it is pretty good. There's no question. Now, some people have pointed out on X and wherever you get your social media that Dylan Cease's numbers are heavily in favor of when he faces the AL Central, which has not been baseball's best division, that when he plays outside of that division, he gets clubbed. He was the Cy Young runner-up 2 years ago. He more than doubled his ERA last year. It's great for you to double your financial portfolio. It's not great to double your ERA. To me, the biggest takeaway is AJ Preller's on the hot seat, brother. He is.
He's making moves.
And this is a move to save his career in San Diego. Peter Seidler is the one who kept giving AJ Preller a life vest and kept throwing him that to work his way through some downtimes in San Diego, and then to give him permission to go spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on several ball players. New ownership cut payroll by almost $100 million this year. That means it's prove it to me time. Like AJ Preller, great. You get us back to the NL championship like we were 2 years ago, you can stick around. We don't make the playoffs? See you, brother. And that's the cold, hard truth. I really think that A.J. Preller's fighting for his job.
You think so?
Yes,
I
do.
think he's done such a good job of continuing to keep his top prospects and refilling the farm system as well when he makes these trades. Like, he's done a really good job of that.
I think he has. I'm just telling you what I think new ownership thinks. That's the way I mean, they asked him to cut $100 million off the budget. Do you think they're going to be happy about paying Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts a ton of money when they're 38 years old?
I mean, depends. It depends what kind of players they are. They could be. I don't think that that's Preller's fault necessarily. I mean, that's a group decision of bringing these guys in. So, I mean, yeah, like, I guess somebody has to be held accountable if those contracts end up being bad like you think they're going to be. But he just got them back into contention for a playoff spot when they weren't there. So I don't know, man. I don't know if he's necessarily on the hot seat 100%. I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay, you can disagree, but we'll see. Let's look at this quickly from the Sox angle. Do you think there is now a for sale, everything must go sign in their front yard?
I kind of think there should be, but it's such a strange thing. You know, Chris Getz comes in there and, you don't want your first acts to be just stripping down everything entirely and losing, 110 games. Like, that's not what you want. So, like, I think he's got to try to toe the line of, like, trying to, and this is like the worst place to be in my opinion, trying to toe the line and being like competitive while, getting your farm system back and making all these moves and cutting some payroll. So maybe there should be. There's some really good players still on that roster, Chris, that they could really get some value for, but at what cost? Like, are you just going to be the worst team in baseball because you did those moves? And if you're a new general manager, like, you don't want that. So if you do that, if they decide to say, hey, we're selling everyone, La Pantera included, you better be straight with your fan base and say, guys, this is what we're doing. Because if you don't, and then you end up trading those guys, the backlash will be almost too much to handle.
Well, it really started last year when they started to dismantle that team. It was a team that it felt like they were on the precipice of challenging whatever team in the AL East and the Houston Astros there in the AL West. And they got there a couple of years in the playoffs, and they just couldn't get over that hump. And I've always told you that I do think that an 30 for 30 would be really interesting on the White Sox with all those years as to why it didn't work. Being half pregnant is not a thing, man. They got to sell. They have to sell, yeah. And that includes Luis Robert. I really believe in it because he is far and away the guy that can bring back a total haul. He's got 2 years and almost $30 million left on his deal, and then he's got 2 team options for $20 million each. That is extremely reasonable for a guy who's still in his mid-20s, who plays a premier defensive position, and when he's healthy is going to put up great numbers. I know some people in the chat are going to say, Rose, you're nuts. They got to hang on to somebody. And yes, in theory they can, because if they do turn this thing around in 2 or 3 years, then sure, then he's still in his late 20s and being an awfully productive player. But at the same time, I think you can hit the accelerator button if you trade him. Plus, I'm rooting for him to get out of the division. Sorry.
I would like that. I'm going to go off track a little bit here. I'm friends with Chris Getz, played against him, all these things, so I wish him well. But all the talk about the Chicago White Sox being the Chicago Royals is pretty funny. Like, a lot of people that played for the Royals are over there now. I like that.
Yeah. But that's not necessarily a great thing.
Yeah, not really.
If you could take the 2014 Royals and 2015 Royals and bottle them, not add 10 years to their lives, but take them when they were young kids and put them on that field, then that'd be a good thing for the White Sox.
I don't know if this actually happened, but I'm pretty sure it did. Mike Moustakas was like, Chris, I need to go to spring training. Like, hook it up. Okay, sure, Mike, come on over. Boom. Mm-hmm. That's all it took.
Yeah. Let's see here. Who is it that I just lost you in the? Oh, yeah, it was Connor Wilson who said, You are not nuts, Rose. Sox need to cash out and rebuild. And somebody else in there said, I lost you already on the chat, but somebody said that, Rose, you're nuts. They have to hang on to somebody, which is probably true. Yeah, that's okay. Let's stay in the Central, but let's move to the National League. And terrible news out of Milwaukee. They're going to be without their all-star closer. It sounds like at least half the season. Devin Williams done for 3 months, a pair of stress fractures in his back. How much does this sway the standings in that division, in your opinion?
I mean, it was already going to be a dogfight in that division, and obviously this is a huge blow to the Brewers, but hopefully he's only out for the time that they've allotted him to be out. A couple months, he gets back, and he'll be right in there. They have some guys that they can that Murphy can call on. Oh, my door just opened. This is live TV, people.
Oh.
Yoel Payamps had a really, really sneaky video. Yes.
Did a human open it? Are you being attacked? Are you safe?
No, that's the wind. The wind. Yeah, it's crazy out here. So they have people they can go to, though, see, Rosie, and they could bridge the gap between now and the time that Devin Williams comes back. So I don't think it sways as much as people think it will. Like I said, this is going to be a dogfight for this division between 4 teams, and some people are saying even 5 teams if you count the Pirates. So, I don't think it's changed as much. Obviously, Milwaukee takes a hit a little bit here, but like I said, they have some guys that can bridge the gap between now and until Devin comes back.
Okay, do me a favor. While I'm talking, can you go shut that door? Because now...
You don't like the way I look now?
You look like the pasty person from Omaha, Nebraska in the middle of December.
Okay.
So, you can't... I need you looking like the handsome Plouffe. So go back and do that. In the meantime, I would agree with you that they do have a couple of people. Abner Uribe, who came up last year and was phenomenal, is a kid that's probably going to get a shot at that. Yoel Payamps, really, really good pitcher that people didn't talk about much. Once again, when you remove the last guy out of the bullpen, then everybody's got to slide up a roll. And when that happens, weird shit tends to... I remember I asked Liam Hendricks how different it is when you're throwing those last 3 innings. My God, you look so much better. You look so much... What happened? Did you not shut the door fully?
It's all about lighting. No, it's so bright right now that I had to put something over my door and the windows, and the wind just blew it right open. So don't worry about me. Keep going.
No. I kind of made my point. I picked on a couple of guys that I thought could do it. It was Uribe and Payamps, who I think will get a shot there. Now, the thing is also, I can tell you, being a guy who's got a bad back, I pray to God that this just doesn't continue to linger, because that is something... When you talk
about a pitching issue, right? This wasn't like he fell doing something else. This is just for pitching. Okay.
It bothered him late last season. He fought through it, didn't think much of it, delayed the start of his offseason program, got to camp, and then it was really, really bothering him as he was throwing. And
That's tough.
I'm just telling you, man, as somebody who has dealt with a bad back now for well over a decade, I get it. I'm not a pristine athlete. Might be a breaking news here on Baseball Today, but it can be a real problem. And I'm rooting for him, man. God, it sucks.
Me too.
Big picture here. I don't know, in the next couple of weeks, we'll do our final predictions, but I was not on Milwaukee to win this division anyway.
I wasn't either. I think their projected win total on DraftKings is 76.5 or something really low like that. So we all took the over in our TPP on Talking Baseball. I expect them to be better than that. I don't know if I haven't won the division right now. I believe I had already made a call earlier in the offseason saying I think the Cardinals might win the division, but I could change my mind now that things have happened.
Hey, Rock832 in the chat wants to know, are you wearing a Braves hat right now? Oh!
Yeah.
That is nice. The big P on there, which stands for Pittsburgh Pirates, everybody. Play nice, please. Play nice. All right. Today's episode, sponsored by our friends over at Shady Rays. You have one of these? Can you throw these on? I want you to set your sights on the sunny days ahead with these quality shades. Our friends at Shady Rays, they have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Did you know Shady Rays, it's an independent sunglass company. It offers an unrivaled product just as good as any expensive pair ever worn, and they're going to slide money back in your pocket. That's not all. Shady Rays provides the most insane protection in the history of eyewear. Every one of these bad boys is backed by the lost or broken replacements. What does that mean? Your shades go MIA if you sit on them in the car like I do. If you lose them in the ocean like Plouffe does when he goes to his own private ocean. Don't worry about it. They got lost and broken protection, so you'll be covered from day one. Try for yourself. These shades are rated 5 stars by more than 300,000 people. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head on over to shadyrays.com. Use the code TODAY for half off 2+ pair of polarized sunglasses. Plus, that offer applies to the custom Jimmy and Jake collab shades as well. Go get yours today and enjoy them. What are you smirking at, man?
I just it's hilarious that Jimmy and Jake have their own signature sunglasses.
That's true. That's true.
Not
They're
necessarily the biggest fashion icons that I know, but they got their own shades.
Well
dressed.
They
look good
Wednesday.
Though.
Well-dressed Wednesday?
Sometimes he hits the mark. A lot of times he misses the mark, Chris.
He looks good. Did he drop some weight?
He works out a lot.
I know he does. He looks good. By the way, don't forget, programming note. Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Blitzball Battle 4. The quarterfinals continue. It's Team Baggage. Jimmy and Jake taking on Woogas. Don't miss it. That's all I can say. Do not miss this one. Don't miss it.
Yes.
Don't miss it. That's it. That's all we can say.
Yes.
Okay. We'll all be in the chat.
Yes. You actually don't miss this one.
All right. As we told you earlier this week, Gerrit Cole, he's off to Los Angeles. Not to hang out in the Windy City, which is what it has become. No, not to see you. Not to go on a vacation. He's going to see DNE, Dr. Neil Elatrosh, the elbow doctor, one of the top orthopedists around. They're getting a second opinion. Now, John Heyman in the New York Post did say that there is no initial tear in the UCL during an MRI, but the Yankees ace is done for anywhere between 1 and 2 months. Once again, that could change depending on the doctor meeting. Should New York fans see this as, quote, best possible outcome from the initial news?
100%. I mean, look, I've seen Dan Rourke's tweets. This is the best possible outcome, but it really is. I mean, this is something that if what they're saying is true, means he'll be back during this season, which is music to Yankees fans' ears, because worst possible scenario was he was out this year and most of next year as well. And this is a guy who, how many times have we talked about on this show how he is the epitome of an ace? He is the guy, the one you can count on, the most consistent pitcher in baseball. So this is the best possible outcome for them. And you know what? When they're gone, we just did their TPP. I actually think their rotation can be pretty dang good this year. I mean, Rodon has looked really good in spring training. I'm on the side that Marcus Stroman is going to have a career year this year. For some reason, I think New York is going to be really, really good for him. Wow. That's just me thinking out loud. It could definitely happen. So, and look, Nestor Cortez has done it. Clark Schmidt has shown signs of life. Now, the 5th spot in the rotation right now, that's up for grabs between Beater and Weaver and all these different people. But if Cole can come back in this rotation, this team can still be an absolute force. So, yes, it's the best case scenario. I don't see how you can see it any other way, Chris.
Well, so I wouldn't be doing somersaults and screaming at the top of my lungs like all is well, because we just don't know that, right? When you get asked to see by the leading orthopedist, come out and I need to check out, that means you're not out of the woods yet. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, he'll be back in May, because it's just, we don't know. Now, I think you could be optimistic if you're a Yankees fan, but there's a lot of, it's kind of like you have to slow roll that.
But isn't this the best possible outcome from the initial news that he came out and had an MRI in his elbow? There's no tear and he could be back within 2 months. That's awesome.
Yes, that is the best. So it can be both the best, and I'm still not celebrating.
Sure.
I think that's the way you have to look at it if you're a Yankees fan. Okay, it feels like we dodged one, but I'm still waiting until that plane lands. The Yankee fans will be following that plane the way that the baseball world was following the presumed Shohei plane to Toronto.
I have a question for you, and this is for Yankee fans as well. Don't you want to just stay out 3 months like, don't come back just stay a little longer. As long as you can come back and be like all-star break. Let's just go all-star break.
Right. And then it's like a
Let's
huge
not rush
trade.
back our freaking ace.
So I guess it gets to the second part of the equation, which is, are the Yankees making a mistake if they don't? And it sounds like they have no interest in the two lefties that are still on the market, Snell or Montgomery. And now Cease is out of the picture. And, there were reports out there that they had engaged with the White Sox in the last 24 to 48 hours. John Paul Morosi of MLB Network put that one out. Do they need to call Cleveland about Shane Bieber? Do they need to do something regardless of if Cole is back in 1 or 2 months or not?
I don't think they have to see Rosie. I think they can. I keep referencing the fact that they're over that third competitive balance tax, self-imposed tax. I always like to say that. So whoever they bring in, they're paying 110% tax on. So I don't think they'll go out and sign Snell or Monty. I don't think that's going to happen at all. Is Lorenz in? Like, what's he looking at for a deal? Because he's still out there. Maybe they go. I think this is what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to go start the season and see how it goes. And if they need to make a move, then they make a move. I don't think they need to panic, make a move right now. I think they have enough in the rotation. They have some guys at the back end there that they can see how it goes, and then make a move.
I would agree with that. I would agree. You talked about the Yankees rotation and the possibility that it could be great. There's also a possibility it can't be, and that's why they have to wait. Because if it all lines up and it's awesome, and then Cole comes back, whether that's in 1, 2, 3 months, whatever it is, then you're feeling fine. And then if it goes sideways, you still have enough young guys to deal from where you can go get somebody. And I think the Yankees are fine with the position that they're in. I would feel perfectly okay with where we sit. There you go. Hope he feels well. Sport needs him. I don't care whether you're a Yankees fan or not. The dude balls. Like, he didn't get his $300+ million and curl up into a ball when he went to New York. He went the other direction. And
who's that guy? I just saw him pitching in spring training. And Dan, maybe you jump in here. Like Luis Heel.
Oh yeah, he's a guy that's coming back from arm surgery.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, he was throwing 100 or whatever the other day.
I mean, so that's like stuff like that, like guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason you can wait. Just see how it goes.
Right. Well, he's a guy that, as I said, he's coming back from a major injury, and they're kind of slow playing him as well. So if you're looking at trying to use him out of the gate, I don't know if that's the right answer, but good job by you pointing that out. All right, Oneil Cruz continues to launch shots. Another homer on Wednesday against, I think it was Chris Bassett, who gave up that one. This comes just a few days after a 2-homer game where he freaking was hitting more Cruz missiles out there. It's ridiculous. He, of course, is one of 2 really tall Cruzes that will play shortstop in the National League Central, Elly being the other. Which one of those 2 will make a bigger leap in 2024?
I hate these questions. This was difficult for me because I feel like they're both going to take massive jumps forward. Like, people forget about the Oneil Cruz hype train because, he got injured so early in the season last year, and we kind of just put him on the back burner. This guy had just as much hype as Elly De La Cruz had last year. And then he gets hurt, and then you forget about him. So if I had to pick one, and I was kind of thinking about like the rest of the career, not necessarily just 2024. If you're just saying just 2024, I think I'm going to pick Oneil Cruz. He's older. Like, I don't know, like, it just, when I look at him, I feel like he's a little bit more of a finished product. But for career, I think I would go with Elly because he's a switch hitter. He steals more bags. Like, I think maybe there's a little bit more versatility there, a little more things he can do on the baseball field. But both these guys are absolute freaks. So I think they're both going to end up being perennial all-stars. And I guess I just gave my answer. Like, in 2024, I think Oneil Cruz is going to have a better year. And for the career, I guess I will go with Elly De La Cruz, but give me both of them. How about that? I don't know.
So you just didn't want to answer it.
I gave you an answer. 2024, Oneil Cruz. Rest of the career, Elly De La Cruz.
Okay. Do you see the side of the graphic? What's it say?
What does it say?
Better Cruz in 2024. Oneil or Elly?
Oneil Cruz.
Okay. Can you not read that on your screen?
I got something blocking it. I don't know. Maybe I can get rid of that.
We got wind issue, lighting issues in the
booth. Now I can see it. Okay.
Okay, there you go. Is that better? Yeah. I too am going to go with Oneil Cruz. It sucks that he only played 9 games last year before breaking his leg. I forgot it was that few. I was like, did he get a whole month in? He got 9 freaking games in. 9. You know how much it would have helped his development, even if he had come back and played the last month and a half. I mean, I get it. The Pirates weren't in this thing, but 9 freaking games. Do all that work to get ready for the year and snap your leg. Piss me off. So let's go, Neil.
Maybe he needs a little bit more calcium and he can be like Aroldis Chapman.
That is, I mean, I'm sorry.
I had to bring that up on this show. I'm sorry. I had to bring this up.
So, you know, when you're flipping through Instagram and there's certain videos like you're not going to want to watch, so you kind of try and position it so it's only like half on your screen. You don't do that?
Not really. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. No. There's certain videos.
I watched that whole video.
That was disturbing. What the fuck was going on?
I don't know, but I had to bring it up because whoa.
What was that?
He just loves his mom so much.
I loved my mother too. I never did that. I never even thought about doing that.
Like I said, Oneil Cruz maybe needs some calcium. Milk is full of calcium.
What'd you just call it?
Milk.
You said milk.
I don't know. I'm sick, dude. Not sick like Aroldis Chapman, like physically sick.
That is disturbing.
A little bit.
Dude, you ruined the rest of my day. I thought I was going to get past it without. I didn't even want to put it in the rundown.
Did you show Michelle?
No. Why would I show Michelle?
Because it's kind of like hilarious. Like it's so weird hilarious. That it's funny.
It's nothing. No, it's not.
I showed it to a lot of people. Like, look at this. This is crazy.
Did you show Olivia?
Yeah.
And what did she say?
Like what? She's like reacted like everyone else did. What the F is going on?
Yeah. What if when Teddy's 30, if he comes home and is like, "Hi, Mom."
I'll say, get off those things, Teddy. Those are mine.
They're not yours. They're hers.
They're
not yours.
We are one, C-Rose. We're bonded.
Let's get out of here. It's ridiculous. You got one more thing, okay? It's our factor question of the week.
Wait, can I say something about factor? You didn't let me. I rose my hand.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had you off screen. So what do you got?
I've been sick and I haven't been wanting to cook. And Factor had sent me a box.
Yep.
That was the best thing for me. I needed some nutrients. Bang, bang, microwave, ate it up, felt better.
Love that. Love that. Sorry about I apologize for not getting you in there. So once again, it's our Factor fan question of the week. Head on over to factormeals.com/baseball50. You're going to get half off. Go do that today. So our question of the week, actually pretty fun one. It's from real name, no gimmicks, also known as Carson, who said, with Votto signing with Toronto, I want to hear each of your pick for the weirdest visual of a player in a different jersey late in their career, i.e. Brandon Crawford with the St. Louis Cardinals. So do you have one?
I actually haven't seen Brandon Crawford in a Cardinals uniform yet. I got to go check that out. I do. I have 2 because I like to do that. And Dan, are you ready with this?
He is.
Okay. One, I'm going to go old school. I'm going to go with my Twins. It's Harmon Killebrew. Late in his career, last year, he played for the Royals.
Wow, didn't even know
So you think of him as, Senators. They moved to Minneapolis. Twins, legend. But this is disturbing to me a little bit.
Yeah.
In division, he looks good in it. No doubt. Look at those hands on that guy. Look at those forearms. But that's a little weird to me. And my second one, my good buddy who I've known for a very, very long time was Andrew McCutchen in a Yankee uniform. Did not like that. Had to shave the beard. Right. Didn't look right. Not everyone looks good in pinstripes, even Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, that's a weird look for him. Happy he got back to Pittsburgh to go full circle. Yeah, for me, it's not a guy who spent like a single year after a Hall of Fame career with just a single team, because several of these guys actually played for a bunch of squads. You think of Randy Johnson, obviously, as a Seattle Mariner or Arizona Diamondback. He also played with the Yankees. He started with Montreal, the whole bit. He won his 300th game with the San Francisco Giants, which I thought was just so weird. It was very strange. Like, come on.
Did he pitch in Houston too, right?
Yeah, he was there for a very brief bit. I think it was 98. Let's see, who was that? Freddie Garcia, John Halama.
Dude, that's terrifying just looking at that picture. Not the jersey, just like imagining being in the box against that guy.
Yeah, and then Wade Boggs, I know he's from, I think, Tampa, St. Pete area, but he got his 3,000th
Yeah.
hit as a Tampa Bay Ray.
I like that. I like that.
You do?
One. Yeah, I do.
I don't know. It was weird. Do you remember Jim Thome playing for the Baltimore Orioles?
Gosh, I don't.
Yeah, he played for both the Dodgers and the Orioles at the end.
I remember the Dodgers. Okay, the Orioles. That's funny.
Yeah, it's just some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Good question, though.
What about Trevor Plouffe in a Rangers jersey in spring training?
You never. What happened?
We got to end the show. Things are going crazy over here, bro. What's happening? It's the craziest win I've ever seen in my life.
All right. Everybody enjoy baseball. The teams are on their way to Korea. We're getting closer to games that count next Wednesday and Thursday. Cannot wait for that. Everybody have a good, safe sporting weekend. Plouffe, continue to eat your factor meals and feel well. Everybody else, we love you. We can't wait to see you on Monday. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke. For the uber-talented, if not feeling well, Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you next week here on Baseball Today.